In the recent time, there is renewed xenophobic attacks on Nigerian communities in South Africa, and it called for concern. It did not only call for concern, it also called for us to remind us of the history of Nigeria's real act of kindness when South Africa was in deep mess and trouble. You will remember that in 1948, apartheid system was officially entrenched in the government of South Africa, which means South Africans, the black in South Africa were made to pass through some psychological trauma. They were not allowed to enjoy the same rights and privileges with the whites. And when you look at those who rose to the occasion in the diplomatic community, you find out that Nigeria played the most prominent, the most important role in trying to see to the end of the problem and liberate our black friends from South Africa. For example, in 1976, the government of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, then General, set up South African Relief Fund and insisted that every civil servant in Nigeria, once you're a civil servant or public servant, 2% of your salaries is deducted from source, and we use those monies to assist the blacks in South Africa. Not only the civil servant release money supported, some students' lunch fund were also deducted. In fact, some of them starved themselves to see how they can assist the government and the people of South Africa, to get out of the situation. By 1994, when apartheid regime came to an end, it was estimated that Nigeria government expended nothing less than $61 billion in fighting against the white supremacy in South Africa. Check the value of $61 billion that Nigeria used in assisting South Africa to Nigeria's today's exchange rate. You will see that we have actually, did what I can refer to as the real act of kindness. We have made sacrifices to assist our brothers, our black brothers in South Africa. In fact, it is not only that. Thabo Mbeki, that took over from Nelson Mandela, had to seek asylum in Nigeria and was taken care of by the government of Nigeria. And apart from this, during this period when South Africa was going through the worst of their life, the black people in South Africa, when they were passing through the most strenuous, the most difficult moment of their life, many of their university students came to Nigeria and they were on scholarship. Nigerian government trained hundreds of them free of charge, and about 300 of their comrades and activists were granted asylum, and they were given Nigerian visa free of charge to travel when South African black and white people's government refused them opportunities and took their visa away from them. Nigeria accommodated them, saw them as our brothers, colleagues, friends. And it was not only that, even in diplomatic community, Nigeria went as far as going to the United Nations to make case for the need for South Africa to be isolated in diplomatic international community, and the result of Nigeria's passionate appeal at UN yielded results when United Nations, almighty UN, had to set up, special committee on apartheid regime in South Africa. And Nigeria chaired that committee, that all-important committee, for 30 solid years. You can now see what South Africa is rewarding Nigeria for today. Our black brothers that we spent a whole lot of years, money, resources, time to fight for. And today, they are now attacking our communities, fighting our brothers who are doing legitimate businesses in those communities. I felt there's need for opinion leaders, government agents, diplomatic communities, and every individuals who are passionate about human rights to rise to this very serious challenge and tell South African black people the situation is not proper. Let us remind them of history. Let them know that when they were in trouble, we as a people, we rose to the occasion and assist them. And there is need for them to maintain that old, relationship. They should remember the old relationship. They should see the need to maintain that brotherliness with us, no matter the situation, especially because Nigerians are not but doing anything other than legitimate businesses over there. Although we have a few of our brothers who, might want to go against certain South African laws, then they should follow through and see how to handle them, following the rule of law, and never to take laws into their hands and continue to, bring everybody together and maltreat them. This is seriously not only against standard practice in 21st century, it's also called for the need for us to remind them of the history of when they were suffering, and we assisted them. Thank you very much.